I thank the gentleman from Ohio. Gentleman from Rhode Island, I just want to say that one of those things I remember learning as a brand new, in fact, a law student going into court, is that you got to be careful what things you state as facts to the court. Because if you destroy your credibility before the court by stating things that you wish were true but aren't quite true, it hurts you going forward. You just said in your last comments that the FBI didn't know they were there until they executed the warrant. Well, it may be that every media account that I've heard over and over again is wrong, because I do think there's lots of wrong stuff in media, but they all say that the FBI, in fact, in dialogue with President Trump's lawyers, asks for for the room in which the boxes that they knew were stored should have a more secure lock, and it was put on the next day. So to assert as part of our conversation, that's exactly what I'm trying to get a little bit past, is we could have a dialogue that's useful here, but instead the assertion that they didn't know any boxes were still at Mar-a-Lago is not, I mean, you know that's not true. You say that there was no other thing that they could do to resolve this. I asked Mr. Cicilline, are you familiar with a motion for an order to show cause? So, you know, that you said there's a subpoena. Mr. Bentz pointed out without...
Is that a real question or
it is in a minute. Let me finish posing it. He said a moment ago that there was a process in a case he went through. Well, these processes exist. And you can go, if the subpoena had been issued, grand jury subpoena, months ago and had not been properly complied with, you got a couple choices. You could go ask the court to order the president to show cause why he shouldn't be held in contempt for not abiding by the subpoena. And if, as Mr. Jordan just said, they allowed it to go on for months, and even, in fact, if you dig in deeply and you look at the communications between the president's lawyers and the judicial and the Justice Department lawyers, they never come to a climax. They sort of just drop off, and then they go in with executing a search warrant. And you might say, well, I mean, at the end of the day, you can say this is a question of judgment on the part of the Attorney General. It certainly is. But Mr. Bentz's inescapable point is, it's one thing to say there's nothing else they could do. It is another thing to say the Attorney General decided in an unprecedented way to go execute a search warrant against the former President of the United States when other things were available. I think it's important that we clarify which it is, and I'll yield back to Mr. Jordan so that he can yield to you if he will.
Thank you. Sure. So with all due respect, sir, a motion to show cause may be something that you would do in a civil case. I tried thousands of criminal cases. Criminal investigations either lead to no indictment or indictment. People who are the target of a criminal investigation don't get an opportunity to show cause. They get a warrant issued, a warrant executed, and evidence collected. That's the way the criminal law works. And what you're missing is the point is the former president should never have had these documents. Taking them out of the White House in and of itself posed a danger. They weren't secure. He didn't return them. You're missing the point of the danger of the president's conduct. I yield back.
I would yield to the gentleman from North Carolina.
So was the FBI wrong to arrange interviews with Hillary Clinton over her emails? Or should it just have sent a warrant out and put her in chains and brought her in? Is there a reason for that to be different in one case than the other?
If there's no comparison between there's no comparison, despite your best efforts to make it the same. There's no comparison between the use of a server and someone who stole highly classified documents, refused to return them, didn't secure them safely, lied about the fact that they had been declassified, and then still refused to return them. That's a violation of federal law.